What are you doing?
Well, it's back to school, and so I just thought, like, you're
She's
talking
got
about
a Mountain View Toro shirt on.
school
Stop.
spirit.
Now we got to change.
Go Toros! Whoop!
What? You're still in a school shirt.
Stop! It's how I cope with summer being over.
We're not wearing school shirts.
School
Go
pride.
change.
Go Huskers! Woo! Nebraska!
Not a sweatshirt. It's 100 and stupid out, and you have a sweatshirt on.
Hey, it's the way I cope with him going off to college. If you're going to be anything, be a lumberjack.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to Wake Up, a daily Bible study from Pastors Scot and Jason Anderson, a morning scripture with your morning coffee. Brought to you by Living Word. We encourage you to wake up with us every morning by watching us on YouTube. Visit wakeuptv.tv or search Daily Bible Study on YouTube.
Good morning. Welcome to Wake Up.
Where we wake up. I don't know.
That's a little longer. I'm Pastor Scot.
And I'm Pastor Holly.
Jason's on vacay, and so we're here kind of holding down the fort, having a good time. And we're going off of my teaching this last week. You can watch it there at the end about relationships.
It was so good. It was so good. Yeah. It really, really was. Well, I want you, if you will, I want you to share with the viewers about the concept of reciprocal. That was one of your points.
I do.
And
it gets me excited because I have a math degree, and I never get...
He's a math nerd. Can I say that on? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I don't...
He's a math nerd.
You could have said a math wizard. You could have said like a math super hot guy.
He's a math magician.
A mathmagician?
Is that good?
My new...
Like a
mathematician. I think that Holly just made up a word. It's called mathgician. I'm a mathgician.
He's a mathgician.
So I got to use math using reciprocal this week.
Yes.
And God kind of brought this to light to me that the Bible really is about the reciprocal. Now, a reciprocal is this. You have, let's say, 2/5. You got a fraction. Okay. I'm going to keep this all basic here because most people hate math. And I want to, it's not even close to a half. I mean, so if I want to get that back to a whole, I have to multiply by its reciprocal, which means I have to multiply by 5/2. So 2/5 times 5/2 take me back to 1. Mm-hmm. Now, what happens in life is if I multiply 2/5 by 2/5, I get 4/25 gets me farther away.
Right. You're not.
This is what people are doing in life. In their relationships, they give what they get. And Jesus says, no, do something different. Watch this in Luke 6:27.
I love that picture, though. I love the picture that it takes us farther away from the whole of ourselves.
Well, if you say something, not that you ever did, let's go the other way. I say something unkind to you.
Yeah.
If you say something unkind back to me,
right.
It has moved us farther away from peace and joy and things that I want in my life.
Peace. Let's go.
I want peace.
We know where you're headed, but we're going to go with peace.
We're going to use the word lucky. But I say to you who hear, this is Jesus talking, love your enemies and do good to those who hate you. What are you talking about?
Which is so crazy.
Those who curse you, that's not what you do. You flip off those that curse you. I don't understand.
Oh, my goodness.
But we've been taught in life that it says pray for those who are unkind to you.
Yeah, don't speak ill or gossip about them.
So what have we been trained, though, through society and the Kardashians, that if you hit me, I hit back. If you say about me, I say about you. Yeah. But Jesus says that's never gets you back to whole. What gets you back to whole is that when you say something unkind, I follow up with something kind, the reciprocal. Your husband, he's grumpy and grouchy. And instead of being grouchy back, you come over and give him a little kiss on the cheek and go, honey, I love you so much. You're so awesome.
Well, I actually used a word, now that we're talking about this, it hit me, because we didn't get it before we started taping. But I remember what I said, is when we repay kind for something that's been done, maybe not so kind to us, it's disarming. It disarms that person. They're expecting you oftentimes for you to bring back what they know. And when we come back with something that's loving and kind and affirming, it's disarming to people and they don't know what to do. What do you do? What do you do when you're just really angry and you say, I always take it back to my kids, but I'm going to just give my kids a tip. If I'm in a bad mood or if I'm saying something, and as a mom I have this expectation that they're going to come back with their quippy little thing, and they were to come back with, I'm so sorry, Mom, or I'll change that, Mom, it would be so disarming. I'd be like, I have the best kids in the world.
Did you hear that, teenagers?
Anyway, but,
She just gave you a secret right there.
Yeah, but it's like that with any other person. Think about ourselves.
If somebody, let's say your boss comes to you, and normally when they say, hey, you're doing this wrong, you're like, well, whatever. What if you went, You're right.
You had some.
You're
You had
right.
an assistant that would do that.
Oh my God.
We love her, and you would tell me, you're like, "What do you do? What do you do when you're trying to say, hey, we need to do this different?" I know.
She goes, I know. No, I know you know. Okay, I don't know what to do with it. Okay, let's move on.
But that's how change happens, though.
Right.
Like, we can't change that,
because you do have the employees where you go, hey, we need to do this, and then they want to argue with you about it, and it's this big old argument.
Not our employees.
Not our employees.
We have
People
the
have
best
them.
employees.
We have the best in the world.
Yeah.
At Ravencrest employees. I can use those.
No. We
They're
don't
the
have.
best too.
We
I love
have
that.
amazing.
God has blessed us. But anyway, so repaying good for evil. Somebody talks bad about you at school. Hey, what do? Maybe what if you started talking good about them?
Right.
And it gets back to them, and it throws their whole world off because they don't know what to do with that.
It's disarming. What does that word even mean? I love words. Disarming. It means you literally tear down what the person thinks that they could use against you. You disarm them. They don't know what to do.
And I didn't give you the kudo on Sunday, so I'm gonna give you the kudo now because this kind of was spawned off of our vacation. I was stomping around because we're on vacation. I got all this stuff to do. We're putting our 25th together. We're doing a cool ceremony out on the dock, and I couldn't get electricity to work in the boathouse.
Right.
It should work.
Right.
But it didn't work. There was no juice there, and I was trying to get the juice. It wouldn't. And I'm stopping, and you're like, "Hey, babe," and I'm like, and I'm grumpy, and you're like, "Oh, stop it! It's been 25 great years." And she gives me like a little hug. She's like, "Stop! We don't get to be grumpy." And she just loves on me, and it pulls me right out of my grumpiness.
Right.
If she was grumpy back at me, I can tell you this: I would have been a whole lot more grumpy back. It wouldn't have taken us back to getting whole. This is God's plan for you in your relationships, is to give the reciprocal, give the opposite. Somebody hates, you love. Somebody takes away, you give. Jesus goes into saying that when somebody tries to take from you, just give it to them.
That's right.
Just give it to them.
Right.
And so we're saying this in whatever relationships that you might be dealing with. What's the opposite? And so you look at your life and you go, okay, maybe certain relationships aren't firing or doing what they should the way they should be. Then look at what's the reciprocal. What am I doing in those relationships? Let's do the reciprocal in them.
Right.
Does that make sense? So you're a teenager and you're battling all the time. So you just think that battling more is going to get less battle, but maybe you begin to go into it with a reciprocal mindset.
Right.
Right? Or you're battling with your parents.
Yeah, because this doesn't always have to be the response. Like, you can be the
giver.
I don't want to say the aggressor in it, but like maybe you're
You started off, the instigator. I love it. Go with it, because I love what you're saying.
Well, I was just going to go, like, when we say reciprocal, like, we're kind of talking about someone does you wrong, what's your response? But what about you're initiating? Like, you as the initiator. Like, sometimes, we kind of can be, like what you're saying,
right.
We can be the person that starts it. And let's not be that person. Let's, look at conflict or whatever it is we have to, address, and let's maybe entertain the idea of addressing it differently.
No, oh my God! I wish I had this when I was putting the sermon together. No, I'm probably going to add it in next week's sermon, because to me it's great. You start your day off with
giving me the reciprocal.
With the reciprocal. No, I'm just saying, you come down normally and you're a little grumpy and you're tired in the morning. But what if you did the reciprocal and you came down with a smile? Hey, kids! And normally the first thing you say to your kids is you're on them.
Yeah.
Duh, 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 and you're on them. What if you did the reciprocal and the first thing you did was encourage them and build them up and tell them what a great day. Hey, we're going to pray over your day, guys. Let's get a little wake up going, and you do something different in the morning. Your mornings used to be a battle, but now because I'm doing the reciprocal, I'm doing something opposite, now it becomes a joyful, fun, exciting atmosphere.
Well, how about this? Not even just your kids in the morning, but before you even walk down the stairs, why don't you allow yourself the reciprocal? Why don't you get up and, instead of seeing the weight of the world on your shoulders and all that has to be done in your day, why don't you open up the Word and allow whatever Scripture stands out at you, let that be the reciprocal for you in that moment. So that then when you walk down the stairs, you're walking down a little bit lighter, you're walking down a little bit freer, and you're not carrying so much weight of what's on your plate. Even though you may have a lot on your plate, give yourself the gift of the reciprocal.
You're giving me so many weeks of teaching.
I know,
because the reciprocal, you're so great. The reciprocal in your mind is, if you hear can't, what should you do? Tell yourself you can.
That's right.
I'm not smart. I am smart.
Yeah.
You just do the reciprocal within yourself, and you'll see your attitude begin to soar. We got to pray over your day. Dear Father, Lord, we thank you and praise you for everybody that is watching, Lord. Help us to walk forth and giving the opposite back to the world, doing something different, something that makes us a light. You hate, I love. You take, I give. You say something wrong, I'm going to say something in love. I'm going to begin to operate even within myself, of saying and telling myself some different things that I've been told, that I love myself, that I'm great, that I'm amazing, Lord. And we pray that you bless their day. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Enjoy this clip. No Espanol. And so I had to put my hand up. And the lady came over, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I put it in Spanish. And so she did, and she walked away. And then I went, boop, and I hit Spanish again. Because twice is funny. And so she had to come over again. And I would have done it 3 times, but instead she goes, I'm going to help you out. And she hit English for me, so I couldn't do it a 3rd time. And so that's all right. Now, everything that I'm doing is things that I've had people do in front of me. So this is not, I didn't make this up. This is just, people have actually done this. And so I grabbed the DVD, and I had my finger over the UPC on the bottom, and then I just went like this. And finally, the 2 ladies behind, they go, your hand is on the UPC. I said, no, it's right here. She goes, no, your other hand is on the UPC. I said, oh, I'm sorry. And so I took it, and I went, boop. And then I went, that was easy. But I had it hanging over again, and went, boop, for a 2nd time. Because that's annoying. Now I got to call them over and be like, oh, my gosh, I didn't want that. I'm like, oh my gosh, right there, get it. Right? And so the lady comes over, she punches it out, and so I do the next one. Now I have like 10 cards to go through. So I take the envelopes and I look at it, and I did that every one. I went, there's no UPC on that. And so then real slow, and then I took the card, and I went boop, and then I took and I put each card in the envelope. People are now getting out of the line. People are like, oh my God, unbelievable. And I'm taking my sweet old time with each card, but I get all the way through the cards, and they've held fast into the line. They're very patient, right? And so I don't know what to do. I'm like, Lord, give me something, and he always gives me something. I go, kids, pick out some candy, because I know that's a long time. Kids are picking out the candy. They're like, oh my gosh, they're so, right? And the kids get the candy, but they're still in line. Everybody else is getting out of line except for these 2 people. And so I'm going as slow as I possibly can. Lord, what are we going to do? This isn't going to work. My revenge is not going to happen. And then I had the thought. I went, Lakin. I said, we're out of milk. Baylor's like, no, we don't. I went, be quiet. We're out of milk. Go get me some milk, son. And normally he's such a good boy. He'd like trot off, but he was like we were here with each other. He walked so slowly off to get the milk. He's sitting there. I got a little magazine I'm reading. They're softly, without the kids here, cursing. They're so angry. Other people are getting out of the lines. They're so mad, upset, dirty glares. Here comes Lakin back, and I want you to know this. It did not matter what milk he brought. It was going to be the wrong milk. I knew that. Knew it. He comes up. I go, not 2%. I said, we drink whole milk. Baylor's like, no, we don't. Be quiet. I said, yeah, we drink whole milk. Lakin's like, sorry, Dad. And so off he slowly goes. They let out just a stream of words that I could not repeat, and they got out of line and went over to that line. This line pulled up. I went, Lakin, never mind, we don't need the milk. Boop, 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 boop. But that's not how I'm teaching you to act, just so you all know. That's not what I'm teaching here. That was old Scotty. We got new Scotty. All right, number 2. Write this word down. Number 2 is deposit. Deposit. If I'm trying to grow my bank account, then I have to make more deposits than I make withdrawals. Think about that now, and I want that to be on the forefront of your mind in relationships. If I want to grow my relationships, I have to make more deposits than I make withdrawals. I know that we've been taught, and the world wants to push on us, that I got to take and take and take, but that doesn't produce a great marriage, doesn't produce a great single life, doesn't produce a great relationship, doesn't produce great in anything. You'll never be happy taking. I'm going to say that one more time. You'll never be happy taking in this lifetime. But you always seem to find a little bit of joy when you give and you deposit into somebody's world. Jesus, if you watch his life, he never went anywhere and took. Never took. Everywhere he went, it was give. It was all, and you never hear him complain. Didn't matter where he went, everywhere he went, his goal was to deposit. He always left. It didn't matter. The woman gave him some water at the well. That's all right. He made a deposit, got the whole city saved. A blind guy, let me make a deposit. A guy up in the tree, let me take you out to dinner. Let me do some things. Everywhere that he went, you watched that Jesus left a life of always leaving things better than when he arrived. And this is my goal. It's my goal. My goal is to live a life that I put more into every relationship that God blesses me with than I ever get out. That I'm going to be a depositor in this lifetime. That I give and give because that's how things grow, is on the deposit. I know that we like to take, but as I'm going to show you here in a second, taking never builds anything. You know, a farmer is all about depositing. A farmer doesn't take what the land is trying to give it, because the land is trying to give him weeds, is trying to give him rocks, trying to give him hard soil. That's what the land is offering. He's not trying to take. But a farmer spends his time depositing and working that soil. He softens the soil, right? He puts stuff in the soil, puts seed in the soil. He waters the soil. He works and works and works the soil. Everything is all about, what about my needs? The farmer could say. No, he's going to work that soil, because then you get into number 3, which is harvest. Write down harvest. There's a difference between harvest and taking. They both are a receiving, in a sense, a mechanism in our life. But you'll never be happy taking. But you will be happy that if you deposit in things in your life, that deposit produces a harvest that far succeeds or goes beyond anything that you could ever take. The farmer that deposits into the land, he gets a huge harvest back. The husband that deposits into the wife gets a harvest back. Right? The teenager that deposits in his parents gets a harvest back. Life is about what you put into it, and then you begin to get something amazing out of it. But as long as you're trying to take, what happens to you when people try and take from you? Your natural reaction is to hold on, right? In relationships, when somebody tries to take and you try to take, it's just a holding on process. I have been working on this deposit in my life. I'm trying hard everywhere I go to leave it better. And I've always been big on holding doors for people. I do. I don't care. You can be all the way in the back there. If I see you coming, I'll hold the door for you. This is one of the things. But I've added into what I do now at the Walmart or the Bashes, wherever I'm at, that when I go to get my cart, remember, sometimes it can be people are trying to grab their cart the fastest. I want to be that guy now that I get carts for people. I just get a cart and I make a deposit. There you go. I got that for you. There you go. And sometimes it takes a few minutes as people keep coming on in. I'm like, for the love, stop it. My love has an end. I just get a cart. The cart boy, that's all right. Because I can see people smile. It kind of throws them off. Because isn't that what Christianity is supposed to do? It's supposed to throw the world off. They don't know, why are you loving me? I don't know what's going on. What do you want from me, boy? What you trying to get? What's your angle? But I was at the Stop and Shop up on vacation. And so there's a lady, we're walking in, and she's like on me a little bit, right? That's all right.
To hear this message in its entirety, visit wakeuptv.tv and click on YouTube.
Because I'm patient, I love people. And so I get in, and I'm going to get her a cart. That's what I'm going to do, right? And so I pull the cart out, and I'm going to give it to her, and she grabs it, and she's taking it. But I didn't give it to you yet. You were trying to take it. So my instinct reaction was I just grabbed onto it with both hands, and let me tell you, you'll bury me with this cart. You'll never get this cart now. This is my cart. I'll take the cart to heaven, I'll push it around. I'll be the cart guy up in heaven with this thing now. I was trying to give it, but the moment she took it, my instinct is now you don't get it. See, that's what taking is. When you try and take from those around you, they just hold back. Even if they were trying to give it. You know that most people are trying to be loving, caring people, They're trying to give. They're just trying in life. But when I take, I get people to do things that are outside of their nature. But when I live a life of depositing and giving into others, all of a sudden I've taken the taking process, which will never give me happiness, but depositing will always make me happy, and the harvest will be, as Jesus said, more than you can contain. It'll overflow into your lap and into your bosom. It'll be too much for you to be able to handle in this lifetime. It's because I give the reciprocal. I do the opposite. Instead of take, I give. And Jesus says, the reward is great. Teenagers out there, if you got one next to you, wake them up. It's good for them. Yeah, they ain't in here. You don't want them to listen to this. Why is it that most teenagers are characterized as they're just angry, right? They're just moody. They're just angry about it. Why? Because they've reached a point in life where everything is about them. Take. What can I get? What can I get from my parents? What can I get from my mom? What can I get from my school? What can I get out of? What can I get from my girlfriend? What can I get? Everything is about me and what I can get and what I can take. And your parents, you're like, they're on me. Everybody's trying to, right? I got to clean my room and I got to make my bed, right? And I got to go to get good grades in school. They're on me about curfew and when I get it. Everybody in my world is all on me. Because you have a mentality of taking. So your life seems like it's so hard. I wish that my biggest problem this week was getting rid of a pimple on my face. I wish that was my biggest problem. But your life feels overwhelming because you have a mentality of trying to take from everybody around. But if you'll have a deposit mentality this week and you wake up tomorrow morning and you come on down, and instead of trying to take something from your parents, you're going to give them a smile and give them a little joy. And you come on over and you give Mom a big old hug and a kiss. And you go, Mom, you're so awesome. Man, all my clothes and everything, you lay down your life. You do so many amazing things for me. I am so lucky to have a mom like you. And Dad, you're good too. My gosh, Dad, how hard you work and how many things you provide so that I can experience it. I am just lucky. And you get your little brother and you're like, oh my God, I'm lucky to have a brother like you. And you go to school and you begin to deposit in your school. You begin to talk good about people, begin to encourage people, begin to build people. And all of a sudden a moody, angry, hostile life that you were living becomes a happy, joy-filled experience that you begin to live because you decided that it's not about you, but I'm going to make it about everybody else. I'm going to start deposit. I'm going to do the reciprocal. I know what my friends are doing and I know how they're trying to take from their girlfriend, but I'm not going to be that way. I'm going to be a different way in my relationship. I'm going to give into my relationship. I'm going to give her, right, her stance to be able to stay pure until she gets married. I'm going to begin to give. I'm going to do the reciprocal. I'm going to do the opposite in life. Married people out there, take. That's why it gets bad. Everybody's trying to take. Everybody's trying to what can I get from? What if you changed it and did the reciprocal this week? And what can I give? What can I give when I get home? I know I'm tired, but the opposite of tired is energy. I'm going to give energy when I get home. I know I feel a little moody, but that's all right, Moody. You have no place in me. I'm going to put a smile on. I'm going to do the reciprocal, and I'm going to be happy when I come home. I know I like to just go home and hang by myself, but I'm going to spend some time investing in my spouse. I'm going to put my phone away. I'm going to turn it on airplane mode and invest in that. I'm going to help out. And you got the two of you. All of a sudden, you're like, man, I don't recognize you. And everything begins, well, Pastor, I just ain't got no passion in our marriage. Yeah, because you're trying to take it instead of giving it. When's the last time you planned a romantic night with your wife? Where you literally took a week of thought and process and timing and calls to do something that she absolutely loves to do. Where the night becomes all about her. And see, I've done the reciprocal of what all my friends who have to go home to their little ball and chain. Instead, I get to go home to my princess. It's the reciprocal. I get to go home to the love of my life. I get to invest in some time with her. I get to talk to her. I get to communicate to her. I get to live and build a life together. I give the reciprocal of what the world gives out. Close with this last little bit. I've been working on my battleground, my driving world. I get angry sometimes on the road because people are unintelligent sometimes on the road. And so what's the opposite of anger? My reciprocal is laughing. That's a reciprocal. So anytime I start to get mad, I laugh. And it's amazing what the reciprocal will do. It instantly, the anger is gone. So me and Peyton were driving it was 2 lanes. No one's around. It's pretty early in the morning. There's nobody on the road. You probably nobody for 1,000 miles. And up ahead of us, all of a sudden, this car, as slow as you possibly can, begins to pull out into our lane and in front of us. And you could have a team of mathematicians and engineers, and they would not be able to design the exact time to pull out so that an accident happened. This guy was perfect. He pulled out. I had to slam on the brakes and kind of go over a little bit over into the oncoming. No cars are coming, but I had to go over, right? And the anger, whoo, he came up because that was close. And I just released a laugh. And I know Peyton was kind of waiting to see which way are we going with this one, Daddy? Where are we going with this one? And I laughed. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I looked at Peyton and we began to laugh together. Like it was just so funny that somebody would do that. And Peyton looked at me. He said this. He goes, Dad, what could have ruined our morning made our day. Wow. What could have ruined our morning? What the enemy meant for bad was the reciprocal. See, the reciprocal brought it to wholeness and to good. Do you know the enemy is going to try and do some things to your day tomorrow? What if we laughed at it? What if we just let it somebody said something bad about you, did the reciprocal, you let it brush off your back. And what the enemy meant to destroy your day made your day. What the enemy meant to put you in depression got you a little happier. What the enemy meant to steal from you, God began to give to you. What the enemy tried to take, you just said, I'm going to give it. I'm going to give some peace. I'm going to give some joy. I'm going to give some love. I'm going to give some happiness. And when your spouse, they said something that used to set you off, you smile, you say, sweetie, I love you. Honey, I love you. Husband, you're amazing. I know you worked hard today. Go sit down. Let me rub your back a little bit. I gave the reciprocal, and I got us back to wholeness. I got us back to joy. I got us back to peace. How many people out there this week want a little reciprocal in their life? You've been stressed out and anxious and full of worry, and you're full of anger and full of frustration, and you're lonely. If you'll just try giving the opposite. What the enemy tries to take, God will begin to reward you with. And the harvest is always so much bigger than anything you could ever take in a lifetime. Bow your heads, close your eyes. Thanks for watching.
Oh my gosh, I can't say it enough. I said it the last time. I'm so honored that you would spend time and take time out to watch us. Thank you.
Thumbs up. You gotta do it, my lover.
What am I doing? Whoop, whoop.
Share it. Give it thumbs up.
This is what I did last time.
Thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, text Wake Up to 84483. Wake Up, no spaces. We'll send you a text every day. Visit wakeuptv.tv. Keep watching because we're going to have T-shirts and hats and Speedos maybe. I don't know if that's going to go, but I want Wake Up Speedos would be pretty cool. Anyway, you have an incredible, amazing day. Don't forget to get into God's house this weekend because God's house is a great start to an amazing week.
Yes.
Thanks again for joining us today. Find out more or stay connected with Wake Up at wakeuptv.tv. You can also subscribe to our daily text reminders for Wake Up Daily Bible Study, which includes a direct link to the next day's episode by texting Wake Up, no spaces, to 84483. That's Wake Up to 84483.